Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to No Fun, where we're about to have a lot of fun. I would like to introduce your host for the evening, but before that, take a moment to silence your cell phones. You can take pictures, but just no video recording, and turn that ringer off or we'll shame you. If you have to go to the bathroom, there's one over here, and there is one here, but let's try not using it, because if we hear you making number one or number two from here, we will definitely make fun of you. If you need to get up and get a drink, feel free. Make sure you laugh a lot and have a good time, and keep the coronavirus to yourself. I would like to introduce your host for the evening, who is also a talent manager and also a comedian. You've seen him at Broadway Comedy Club. You've seen him at Greenwich Village Comedy Club. You've seen him at Gotham Comedy Club. You've seen him with a burrito in his hand. You've seen him with a taco in his hand. He's definitely seen him with a falafel in his hand. Tonight, you get to see him with a microphone in his hand. I introduce to you Ben Turk.
Thank you for that intro, Anthony. Love that, love that. Guys, thanks for coming out. Give yourselves a round of applause for coming out for live comedy on a Wednesday night. Yeah! I love it, I love it. So, my name is Ben, and I do live in the Lower East Side. I'm from the suburbs, and I love living here. I actually have a roommate. This guy moved in with me last year. His name is Hirsch. He's a little funny Indian guy. He's really like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. You know how everyone is when they move to New York City? You guys remember that? You remember that? Yeah. So he still has that energy, you know. So he's like, Ben, I want you to show me the real New York. I'm like, are you sure, dude? I see the real New York? I'm like, okay. So I took a shit right in front of him. I pissed on the sidewalk, and I stole half his paycheck. So there you go. That's the real New York for you. He's cool. He's actually teaching me some things, too, which are pretty fun. So the other night he was making some pasta. And he's like, Ben, did you know that every time one Indian guy makes pasta, one Italian guy dies? Like, no, I didn't know that. Is that cultural appropriation, or I don't know. Anyway, so the other day I was hanging out with my friend Caroline, and she's a really cool girl. She's also a fellow comic, and she's complaining to me about guys, as all women do for some reason. I'm like the sounding board. And she's like, Ben, I can't find anyone. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, Caroline, why don't you date a fellow comic? Like, maybe a comedian's your soulmate, you know? To which she replied, my soulmate's in finance. So, I don't know what's up with that. I feel like, for some reason, like, from a woman's perspective, like, there's two types of guys, right? There's, like, the alpha male, like, finance guy, right? Then there's, like, the sensitive, like, artist guy, you know what I mean? They usually marry the finance guy first. I think I've become, like, the backup guy. I don't know how this happened. So this is a phenomenon that's been happening to me lately. In the past 3 years, this has happened like 3 times, okay? It's always the same thing. Some woman that I grew up with who went on to have like, get married and have children will reach out to me randomly on Facebook. Like out of nowhere. Like this happened to me the other day. Like, Jen, what's going on? Like, she's like, Ben, how are you? I'm like, what's going on? You getting divorced? She's like, how'd you know? Like, we're not hanging out, Jen. Like, you have 3 kids. Like... Ooh, applause. Oh, wow. Thanks, Joe. No, we got to take care of our women. A few years ago, I was dating someone, and we got into this random fight about something hypothetical. Has any couple here ever gotten into a fight about something that hasn't actually happened? Yeah. Yeah, so she says to me out of nowhere, she's like, you know, my friend's home pregnant, and her husband runs out in the middle of the night and gets her snacks when she's having cravings, you know? I'm like, cool. She's like, would you do that for me? I'm like, okay, so in this hypothetical future, like, are we gonna walk up or like what floor are we on? You know, like, I don't know. But we do have to do things for our women. We have to take care of our women, right? But for me, there's like a certain line I won't cross. I'll give you another little story. So I grew up. My neighbor growing up was this girl, Deborah, a nice Jewish girl, okay, and she's getting really serious with this guy. And they know who I'm talking about. And anyway, the guy's not Jewish, okay? So I don't know if you know this, but if you're an adult male and you want to become Jewish, you have to get, and you're not circumcised, like, you have to get cut. Like, yeah, you have to get circumcised. So I was like, God bless this guy, you know? So I didn't think he'd do it. So a couple of months ago, he went through with it. Like, he actually he did it in your face. Sir, would you do that for someone?
It's already done.
It's already done. Thank God, right? So I'm thinking about this. I'm like, oh wow, okay. It's not that kind of show. I'm like, Deborah's cool and all, but like, I don't know. I don't know if I could do that. Reminds me of that song growing up. You guys remember Meatloaf? I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. Thank you. I won't do that. I'll definitely not do that. But speaking of the finance, guys, I went home recently to visit my family and my sister, who's here. Give it up for my sister. Yes, she came all the way from Rockland. So psyched. So she has two little boys, and so my nephews. Right now they're 7 and 9. Okay, and the little one, the 7-year-old, is like a rip. Okay, so he actually has a girlfriend. This is like the funniest thing. So he's this little 7-year-old girlfriend. I met her. She's cool. She's actually really cool. Yeah, and I'd be happy for him, like if he wasn't such a dick about it. Like it really is like. Turns out even like 7-year-old girls go for the assholes. I don't know. But yeah, that's fun. But anywho, so I do live in New York, and it's a good time. I actually live here. I live in the Lower East Side, which is awesome. I love it here. You know, you guys know this is the birthplace of the punk rock movement. You guys know that? Now you do. Okay. We got Katz's Deli. We got Russ and Daughters. It's really fun. But there is something I discovered. There's something called the Lower East Side Special. You guys, it's not a sandwich. You guys know what this is? A Lower East Side. This is one square of sidewalk with piss, shit, a pizza crust, 2 chicken bones, and a Q-tip. It's gotta have the Q-tip, or it's not. It's gotta have. How did these Q-tips get there? I don't know. But I love living in New York. But another thing that kind of grinds my gears here, these subway ads. Who here lives in New York, by the way? Clap it up if you live in New York. Okay, nice. So you see these subway ads, they're so presumptive, you know? There's this one ad I saw the other day. It's like for Brooklyn, it's like, Brooklyn, New Yorkers go hard for the softest loungewear around. Brooklyn. I'm like, first of all, you don't get to tell me like what I go hard for. Like, and second of all, who's anyone used this word loungewear ever? That's pajamas, right? Like, sir, could you use loungewear in a sentence? No. Yeah, it's not a word, loungewear. Another thing, these Seamless ads. You guys know what Seamless is? So, if you're not from New York, Seamless is a food delivery app, okay? So, these Seamless ads are like how New Yorkers eat. Seamless is actually putting all the restaurants out of business, in case you guys didn't know that. It's like too expensive for the restaurants, but they should change the ad. It should be like, Seamless, how New Yorkers put their favorite restaurants out of business. But there is one thing about Seamless that I do love. If you're pregnant, it will go out in the middle of the night and get you food. So there you go, guys. Woo! Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. You guys ready to get the show going here? All right. I'm gonna bring out your first comic. Hopefully she's still here. Okay. So guys, she's awesome. She's from the West Side. She's been at the West Side Comedy Club. She's been at Gotham. She's been at Stand Up New York. Give it up for Nina Barnett.
Oh, she's sweet but a psycho, a little bit psycho. And
What's up? I love that you stay up here during the sets because you have so much pressure. Okay, I was like, there's so much pressure on this guy to laugh. Oh my gosh. I was like, can you imagine? You would just be like, But what's up? I'm Nina. I hope no one has coronavirus because this is a small room, and I guess we'll find out in a couple days if we get a phone call. So enjoy quarantine. On that note, so I've been traveling out of the country recently, and but don't worry, I sanitize my hands. But you know, everyone is really fucking annoying about coronavirus right now. I was not in an outbreak zone, but everyone is really concerned that I have it. And so I've realized the best way to categorize coronavirus is it's like the ultimate fuckboy. Like, that is how you categorize it. And you can really break it down in 3 examples. The first one is that coronavirus, you know, he says that he's just with you. And then you find out he's fucking all the Italians. You're like, really? Really? Thank you. And then the second example is just when you're ready to introduce him to all your friends, he's like, you know, I think we should just stay in your apartment for like 14 days or so. You know, I'm not ready yet. And then the third way is there's a couple girls that are like, yeah, I mean, like, when he was around me, I was really sweaty and out of breath all the time. And then there's some girls that are like, honestly, I didn't even realize when he was inside of me. Like, I don't know. So I hope we all survive, but honestly, we're fucked. Because we're all attracted to the fuck boys. But yeah, so I'm a girl. I guess if they, I don't know. Never know these days if it's obvious or not. But being a girl is fun because guys say that girls are crazy. And I just want to set the record straight because it's a little rude to say that. And we're so much crazier than you think. Oh, it is so sweet. It is so sweet because we're like undercover psychopaths, kind of. Yeah, it's really fun. It's like being a spy. And, you know, the best way to see how crazy a girl is, if you go to a bar, much like this one that I happen to frequent on a Saturday, it looks very different in the light. But if you go to a bar and you're a guy and you happen to show up where a girl is, if I'm interested in this guy, it's not a coincidence, by the way, that we're at the same bar. And it's like SEAL Team 6 has engaged. We've got one girl at the door and she's like, the eagle has landed, or repeat, the eagle has landed. And then we've got one girl that's kind of like trying to signal that he's here and she's half dancing across the dance. And she's like, he's right there, yeah, over there. And then we've got like one girl really right when he's about to pass, she's giving you the look. And this look is kind of like if my nipple were hanging out of my shirt and no one could say your nipple is hanging out of your shirt, this is what they would do. So they're sitting there and they're like, and I'm like, what is that? Oh, yes, yes. And then he walks by and you know what a girl does? The girl's like, hey. And that's it, the whole night. They won't talk. And you know what she'll say to her friends that night when she's eating pizza? She's like, yeah, I think he wants to fuck me. I do. He's coming on a little strong. But no, I mean, girls are undercover psychopaths. It's great. It's really fun. Another great way to see it is, guys, I don't know if you've ever gotten in a fight with a girl for something she did and then you end up apologizing. It's an incredible way to see how girls work. But something else that's pretty fun, I'm a huge prude, and I love to see people's reactions to that because some guys will just be like, oh, what? And the fun thing with being a prude is I get a lot of different reactions. Because, you know, there's always like the one guy that's like, oh, it's fine. I didn't even want a blowjob. I'm like, okay, great. It's been nice. Enjoy your time. And then the best is too, is some guys that will start talking to the friends who are like, you know, I think she's a lesbian. And you know, there's a fine line between being a lesbian and not wanting to suck a dick. Because if that were the case, every female in here would be a lesbian. So, in fact, no, I'm not a lesbian. I just don't want to suck your dick. You know, something that's pretty fun when you're going out in your 20s is if you're really short, everyone's taller than you. And tall guys feel like they really need to overcompensate when they're talking to me. So they do all these weird, like, coping mechanisms to talking to a short girl. This guy's cracking up because I can already tell he's like 3 feet taller than me. But because I can see him over everyone. But the funniest thing is they'll start doing things like they'll get down here with like their hands on their knees, like all the way down here. And I'm like, I wonder if he thinks it looks normal, but we're gonna go with it. And then he'll just have a normal conversation, and then at that point his knees are really in pain, so he starts doing other tactics, like he'll kind of like stretch. Like all of a sudden, just in the middle of a bar, just sort of like, so how was your day? And I'm like, I don't know what he's warming up for, but we're gonna roll with it. Then my favorite is a guy will come over to a wall and just kind of casually lean against it, and then before you know it, like 3 minutes later, he's like all the way down here, like 90-degree angle in a wall sit, is trying to act normal, sweating, like crying a little bit. And I sit there and I'm like, you know, I could say something, but I also want to see how long he can hold it. But it can be pretty funny. Being short can be very depressing at times, but it's also pretty entertaining if you treat it that way. But kind of taking a turn here. So I'm gluten-free, and I know what you're all thinking. It's a horrible disease that has plagued only white females. And, you know, I don't know how we got hit so hard, but we did. And the thing with being gluten-free is people automatically assume you're vegan, which is really unfortunate if you're not actually vegan, because you get all of the judgment without any of the health benefits. And I'm not vegan. I do enjoy meat, but being gluten-free can be kind of hard because people just assume that everything you do is attached to being gluten-free. So recently I hooked up with a guy, and I asked him his name, and he said it was kale, like the lettuce. And I was like, oh, fuck, no, there's no way your name is actually kale. And then I tried to tell my friends this, and they were like, shut the fuck up, we know you don't eat bread. Okay, got it, yeah, okay. And I was like, no, like seriously, his name was Kale, like it's a Gaelic name. And they're like, Nina, shut the fuck up, you don't eat bread, we get it, okay, move on. And I'm like, no, I swear, I sucked his dick, this was real. And they're like, you don't suck dicks, shut up. And I was like, oh my God. But so it can be a little annoying, especially, I mean, also, who names their child Kale? Like, a little ahead of the times, honestly, impressive. Because kale seems to be like a little new trendy thing, but okay. But yeah, being gluten-free can be kind of hard, and I do Whole30 every year, which, if you're not familiar, you basically remove everything that tastes good, including alcohol, and then you proceed with life, which is a very interesting way to go about things. And one of the things that happens when you do Whole30 is you have really weird dreams. And I was like, there's no way this actually happens. And lo and behold, I find myself waking up in a sweat. And I think back to what my dream was about. And it was I had eaten one bite of a singular pancake. And that was it. And that was the most interesting thing that happened to me for 30 days. So don't do Whole30, absolutely at all. But one thing that I want to leave you guys on is that robots are taking over the world, just a light topic. And I don't know if you guys have ever gotten like targeted ads or anything like that. You're talking about the Jonas Brothers, and all of a sudden Jonas Brothers tickets come up. Not that this has happened to me. And I've tried to start swinging it in my favor. So I've started to kind of walk down the street and be like, a boyfriend? Brunette. I like brunettes. Tall brunettes. Finance guy. Definitely brunette finance guy. And in case you're wondering what my ads are now, they are therapists in New York. So doesn't necessarily work in your favor, but therapy is going great. It is a brunette female, but we move super close. But other ways that robots are taking over the world. I don't know if you guys know, you can go to the doctor now, like by FaceTime, which is super cool. And it's not super cool that you pay $90, but you can FaceTime a doctor. And if any of you have ever tried to do a strep test via FaceTime, it sort of looks like you're giving a virtual blowjob. So if someone walks into your room while you're doing the strep test, it literally looks like this. And you're like, don't worry, it's fine, it's my doctor, it's fine. And people are like, what the fuck? But I get the antibiotics every single time. And, all this talking about blowjobs, funny, somehow that's the only thing that's ever, remembered from any of my sets. And so I've had a couple guys come up to me and say, I heard you talk about blowjobs in your set, which is unfortunate, because if you remember earlier, I say I don't like doing that. So that can be quite awkward. And then when they come to the show, they find that out. So my love life's quite deteriorating, I would say. To close it out, I'm great at blowjobs. And I do have a therapist now. Beware of the robots, but I don't have coronavirus. Thank you all so much.
All right, thank you, Nina. Woo! No blowjobs from Nina, guys. Everyone, pipe down. All right, so we are ready for our next comic. You guys ready for our next comic? Yeah. All right. So you've seen this guy. He's roasted the mayor of Jersey City. His name is Steve Phelps. Does anyone here live in Jersey City? Close? Hoboken, right? There we go. All right, guys, let's bring out the doctor. Let's bring it out, Sandip Sen.
Cruising down the street in my 6'4".
Yeah, keep it going for Ben, everyone.
Clocking the door. Went to the park to get the scoop. Knuckleheads
Yes,
out there.
this is my song. How about when you look at me, that's the song that comes in your head, isn't it? Oh, I regret not being nicer to Nina. Holy shit! I should have. All right, we'll talk after the show. I never know what to say when I get up here because comics don't warm up. like every other performer warms up before going. Like singers do those vocal exercises, dancers stretch, strippers look at pictures of their father, but we don't have a thing. I'm just gonna let the audience discuss the jokes after. I guess that was. I don't know how would that even look. How would comedians? Or should we be in the green room going, all right, knock knock, who's there? A priest, a rabbi, and a minister walk into a bar. Your mama's so dumb. Your mama's so fat. Your mama's so ugly. All right, let's do some comedy. I think things are getting a little weird with race. I was at this clothing store, and this cashier asked this woman next to me who helped her. And the woman's like, oh, she was 5'5", skinny, jet black hair. And I saw the woman who helped her was Asian. But she just wouldn't say Asian. You know, she kept dancing around it. She's like, oh, she had dark shoes, dark eyes, unusually strict parents. Plays the violin, dates a Jewish guy. Brother drives a souped-up Mitsubishi Eclipse. It's like, dude, just say Asian, okay? It's fine. We get it. Like white people, you go to India, we're not doing this shit, all right? We're not going to be like, oh, you know Morgan, she had the very low spice tolerance, average computer skills. Way too into yoga. I do like being Indian. I feel like we've come up. We're coming up in like pop culture. In my lifetime, people used to avoid going to India. Now white women go every time they get out of a bad relationship. You know, they're going there to eat, pray, love. While the Indians pray, I would love to eat. Please God, make Mackenzie drop a Cliff Bar. I've been sad because my favorite season is over, spelling bee season. It's the only time you see Indians on ESPN. Oh, we're crushing spelling. Because you guys let your kids go outside. I don't know how this happened. I don't think we're any smarter. It's just that if your name is Satyendra Venkatramani, it's not hard to spell obsequious. I never got any love growing up. I just want to go to this high school where the Indian spelling jocks are crushing pussy. Wouldn't that be awesome? You just get the cheerleaders to come to the matches. Like, give us the V, give us an I. They're like, hey, that's our job. My grandparents met each other on their wedding day. Couldn't say no, couldn't get divorced. And the only way out of a marriage that you didn't choose was if your spouse died. That's what it helps to live in a third world country. If you don't like your husband, you're like, come on, unfiltered water. Hey, honey, let's go get some street food. Mama needs some new dick. That's why there's no FDA in India. They're like, don't pasteurize that milk. I need out. Lead-tainted toothpaste is my only hope. I used to make fun of my grandparents, but they're doing it better than me. I'm not doing good with dating. I just got dumped after a second date, which is the worst time. If they dump you after 2 dates, they're saying, I was mildly attracted to you until I barely got to know you. No, you look fine. It's who you are on the inside. It's not your face, it's your soul. I think dating's gotten trashier, though. It's harder. It's just getting like even the first dating apps were wholesome. Like you had to answer essay questions and multiple choice questions. They would hire psychologists to match you to your soulmate. Now every dating app is who's within 10 feet and horny. I'm not picky and I can't drive. Latest dating app just dropped. It's called Close Your Eyes and Open Your Mouth. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna download it after this show. I know. They're going to rename it Mumble. So, I know. But that's the only way people are meeting now. No one wants to meet in person. It's all weird. People get freaked out. You guys know Delta did this promotion with Diet Coke on Valentine's Day where you can like write your number on a napkin for your plane crush and you give it to your plane crush and it's cute. Yeah, and millennials freak the fuck out. It's like someone canceled the Wi-Fi for 10 seconds. I mean, it was chaos. They complained to Delta. They had to remove it. They're like, ew, it's so creepy. I don't want someone oogling me and then giving me their number in person. Gross. Now, if you excuse me, I have to go post my bikini pics on Instagram where 10,000 strangers will jerk off. I asked this girl out on a third date. She's like, I'm fine with hanging out with you, but I'm not interested in sleeping with you. Then I'm like, well, now I'm not interested in hanging out. And she's like, see, that means you just want sex. But that's not fair, ladies. I don't just want sex. I want sex also. There's a difference. When I order a pizza, I don't just want cheese. But if it doesn't have cheese, I don't want the fucking pizza. This is why I like pizza. I know to play these mind games with Domino's. And we're like, yeah, we'll give you pizza, but we don't give out cheese on the first order, okay? I don't know what kind of restaurant you think we are. If you want cheese right away, just order from Pizza Slut. I'm glad we live in a time where you can get divorced, though. You know, that's better, right? You don't have to stay in a bad situation. But then can we not have these lavish wedding receptions? You know, if it can end at any time. Like, marriage is a journey. This is the first day. But instead, they're having these chocolate fountains and ice sculptures and live bands. It's like, can we not pour Gatorade on the coach on the first game of the season? They're just getting cocky, these couples, with their speeches. We've been through so much together. What, that trip you took to Italy in the prime of your lives with no children? How did you do it? Like, I'm saying people who stayed married for like 5 or 10 years, they deserve the party, but like, I don't even know what we're celebrating at these weddings anymore. Congratulations on staying married for 0 days. Way to stick together through thick. How did your relationship survive all those ups? When celebrating like they won the war, it's like, you didn't win the war, you just bombed Pearl Harbor, bitch. The fighting starts now. We always have to listen to the same speeches at these weddings, though, don't we? It's like the bridesmaid speech is always the same rambling series of cliches, inside jokes, and giggling. Like, you're so smart and beautiful. And I'll always remember that blue tablecloth at Ricky's. It's like, all right. By the way, bridesmaid, she's not the most amazing woman in the world, okay? There's like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Malala still alive. Like, she's at least number 3. Can we at least... So I like the best man speech. It's always very honest. Like, this guy's an idiot. You're making a huge mistake. Here's 3 inappropriate anecdotes. He's going to make a terrible father. Okay, good night. These weddings, they're just getting cocky. They have these destination weddings now because the city they live in isn't good enough for their love or whatever. You guys, you know what a destination wedding is? This is where you spend 3 days on the beach with other people's grandparents. Because they're the only ones with like the time and money to go. So it's not a fun beach party. The only wet t-shirts are from drool. It's less baby got back and more baby got back pain. The only single chicks are widows. It's not fun. They always have the same reason that they have the destination wedding. They always get the same reason, every couple. Like, we only wanted people that really cared about us to come to our wedding. Yeah, we all know poor people can't care. Yeah, he's a heartless asshole with a job. Fuck him. How does that prove anything? Like, if you want to see, if you have your wedding in an island paradise, if you want to see who cares about you, have your wedding in Detroit. You'll see who's gonna stick it out. This might sound like this might sound like this is because I'm just bitter and single, and that's exactly right. Actually, there's no other reason for all these jokes. I used to think we did better than my grandparents, you know, like because we actually date, like we wait till we're attracted to someone and we fall in love. But like, the things that attract us to someone make no sense. Like, the number one thing women look for in men is confidence. But the worst men are the most confident. Like, I don't know what Hitler was saying in those rally videos. But I'm sure it wasn't, I could be wrong. Don't quote me on this. I'm open to other points of view. The Jews are ruining our society. Maybe. We are still crunching the numbers. We'll get a report out soon. I know my Hitler sounds suspiciously Indian. Just I've been told. I can only do one accent. We have all these stand-ins for confidence that don't even mean anything. Like a firm handshake is supposed to mean you're confident. That's what we think, but all that means is you play video games and masturbate. What are you doing in the bathroom, Timmy? I'm getting confident, Mom. A good posture is supposed to mean you're confident, but what does standing up straight have to do with knowing anything? Frankenstein knew nothing, terrific posture. Stephen Hawking, genius. Yeah. I think women have so much trouble finding their ideal man. Your ideal man is a video game playing, masturbating Frankenstein who hates Jews. It's like, oh, there's just something about him. That guy cleans up on Mumble. It's weird. You can say whatever you want, and people will believe you if you say it with confidence. Did you guys know that men with confidence get oral sex at 6 times the rate as unconfident men? I completely made that up, but you believe me. I'm gonna die alone. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep doing these jokes. I have 20 minutes. I never get to do all these at the same time. But women are saying stuff like there are no nice guys left anymore. But it's because your ancestors went for the confident man. Remove the nice guys from the gene pool. The last nice guy died 50,000 years ago. He was giving up his last fur pelt off his back to some woman because she was cold. Because it was the Ice Age and she had a tank top on for some reason, Then he's like, let's snuggle. And she's like, I just want to be friends. And then he froze to death. Then she fucked the confident caveman, all the nice guys' fur pelts while they watched him freeze. And we're all descended from that asshole couple. So sorry, ladies, that's our genes. All right, it seems like I'm making fun of women a lot, isn't it? I know I'm only kidding. I think women have it harder than men. Truthfully, you guys have to deal with shit that we didn't have to deal with. I was at this funeral for this older woman, and it hit me. Women have to wear makeup even after they die. Otherwise, everyone will be like, yeah, she's dead, but why does she look so tired? They put makeup on men too, but it's just enough that we don't look deceased. But with women, it's they're trying to get you to swipe right on the corpse. It's a little much. It's true though. You've been to these funerals, right? So I don't know. They shouldn't. I don't know why they do it. It makes us feel worse. If we see a body with makeup, we're like, oh, she went too soon. If we see it without makeup, we're like, oh, it was her time. You guys ever feel I don't know why, I feel because people can break up and get divorced, couples always have to act like they're more into each other. They always have to put on the show. It's weird. I was reading a post to a friend of mine. He's 7 years ago today, Maria made me the happiest man in the world by agreeing to marry me. I'd like to wish her a happy anniversary. It's dude, don't you live with this woman? Your mouth was 6 inches from her ear this morning. How did we get involved? Just picture Maria waking up that morning honey, it's our 7th anniversary. He's like, shut up, bitch, I'm on Facebook. Facebook has this thing where you can mark yourself safe after an incident. Have you guys seen this? Yeah. It's way to make a tragedy all about you. Hey guys, a bunch of people are injured today, but not me. You didn't ask, but I'm fine. Have you noticed that the people that mark themselves safe are the ones you kind of wish weren't? I don't know. It's weird. Even when married people compliment each other, it's this weird bullshit compliment that no one really believes. I was around this anniversary, this guy's like, I love my wife more every day. It's really? You've been married 20 years? That's 7,000 days. There's room for 7,000 increments of improvement. When you first got married, you must have really hated this bitch. You're hate fucking for 8 years. Well, why can't you just say, I love my wife? That's a nice thing to say. It's a belief. But they always go the extra thing. Like, this other couple of guys like, my wife is more beautiful than the day we got married. No, she is not. So, not how time works, sir. I've seen the wedding pictures. You're both much uglier. But why can't you just say, I love, or my wife is beautiful? That's a nice thing to say. I feel like they're doing that thing that those like hostages do in those terrorist videos. Like, they're treating me very well here. I love ISIS more every day. I don't think we're using the internet right. That annoys me now, too. Like, I don't understand why internet strangers trust each other on Yelp when they hate each other everywhere else on the internet. Like, here's the entire internet. You're a libtard. You're a racist. Go kill yourself. But first, what do you think of Pomodoro on 6th Avenue? Yes, I didn't care for your manifesto, but I do want to hear your take on the lobster fra diavolo. I hate how they put us to work now when we go to these restaurants. They like, give us 5 stars on Yelp, check in on Foursquare, friend us on Facebook, cuddle us on Google, finger us on Zagat. It's like, look, I just want to be friends. This is getting creepier with the questions that they ask us too. Can we track your location just when you're using this app or always? Why do you need to know where I am always, Chipotle? So I could get that text from you, like, what were you doing at Taco Bell last night? I thought we were special. I hate this Yelp culture, where people just listen to idiots on Yelp for shit, but have nothing. Like, it was fine when it was just restaurants, but then all doctors were like, get vaccinated. Then Jenny McCarthy was like, don't get vaccinated. And all the doctors were like, no, definitely still get vaccinated. And people are like, yeah, thanks, Doc. I'm going to go with the blonde from Scary Movie 3 on this. She has more followers. You may have MD, she has double Ds. I know. If you're trusting your kid's health to the dumb one from The View, then you have autism. I was listening to one of these anti-vax people on TV. She's like, I don't trust these vaccines because they're made by these billion-dollar corporations. They're just in it for the money. Yeah, I don't want my vaccines made by professionals who get paid to make vaccines. I want my vaccines made by part-time hobbyists who took a break from their meth lab to whip up my hepatitis B shots. I want small-batch organic artisanal vaccines sold on Etsy and delivered by a Sherpa. I do like being Indian now. I feel like we've become the happiest race left in America. There's a lot of tension, right? Like, I become like, everyone else is upset. White people are upset. Black people are upset. Hispanics are upset. Asians don't show emotion. Muslims are all deported. Like, we're the happiest ones left. It's fun being Indian in America. We get all the street cred of being a minority and none of the jail time. I think America is the least racist country in the world. I don't think everyone realizes that. Like, there is racism here. It's just worse everywhere else. Like, I'm from India. There's racism there. There's only one race. Like, this whole caste system, like, the darker you were, the lower caste you were. I just feel bad for the guy who, the day before they started the caste system, fell asleep in the sun. He just comes back from the beach like, we're doing what now? Oh, you got to be shitting me. Come on. Just give me 2 weeks. I can change. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the night. I'm Sandip Sen.
Thank you, Sandip. Thank you, Sandip. Guys, give it another round of applause for Sandip. Yes. All right, time out here, guys. We do a little maintenance. We got some more people coming into the show. If anyone would like to try stand up, we have an extra minute right now. Once I get up. Right here. Nice, nice. Who's here from the farthest point? Anyone here from New Jersey? Jersey, no? Okay. Westchester? Oh, Westchester. Nice, nice. Connecticut? Tri-state? All right. I know some people can't be here from New Jersey. How about Rockland County? My parents are from Rockland. Yeah. All right, nice, nice. Oh, who's in Australia? What? Who's in Australia? How'd that flight get here? All right, guys, ready to keep the show going? I'm done counting for time here. All right, guys, let's keep it going. Guys, this next guy, you've seen him on the Women in Comedy Festival, ironically, because he's not a woman, but we love him. Give it up for Brett Kline.
Thank you. Thank you.
I wanna be the very best.
I don't have any Pokemon. Sorry. I would trade some cards, but shalom, everyone. Shalom. Yes, I am Jewish, despite looking like an anti-Semitic UFC fighter. I actually met my fiance on J-Swipe, which is Jewish Tinder. When you match, it says Mazel Tov. I'm not making that up. I think everybody here is on J-Swipe, probably. Yeah. Different group of people. We all have our own dating apps. Like Jews, we have J-Swipe. Gay people have Grindr. There's even this thing called objectum sexual, which is where people are attracted to objects. Yeah, there's a dating app for that. It's called Amazon. My fiance's great. She makes more money than me, which is awesome. Yeah, my friend's like, Brett, do you really want to be with a woman that makes more than you? I'm like, yes. I don't want Becky with the good hair. I want Becky with the health care. Just went shopping, bought some clothes at H&M. They have to turn down their music at this store. Went there at 10:30 in the morning. It's just blasting like a club. I walk in, it's just like... Let's buy some shirts. This guy in the front row is gonna have to wipe his face off. All those noises bother me. They don't actually bother my fiance because she is actually hearing impaired. And she cannot talk on the phone, which means I cannot go to prison. 'Cause she's my one phone call. I am screwed. I have to make phone calls on her behalf all the time, but sometimes rather than explaining the whole situation to the person on the other line, I just tell them that I am Olivia. So I'll just be on the phone like, "Hi, it's Olivia. I'd like to make a doctor's appointment." She's like, "I don't sound like that." I'm like, "Do you want this appointment or nah?" One time she had me call up the gynecologist. Didn't even do the voice. I'm just like, "Yo, this is Olivia. My vagina hurts." It's fun, though. I'm originally from Michigan. No one gives a shit. People in Michigan always think that New Yorkers are rude, which bothers me. I don't think New Yorkers are rude. They're just abrasive. Like, if you cut a New Yorker off in traffic, they will honk at you and swear at you, but that's usually the end of the entire interaction. Yeah, I cut someone off back in Michigan. The guy followed me home. They're polite. They'll just murder your whole family. I think people are most polite in the states that have the most guns. Like New York City, there's stricter gun laws. So you can push someone in Times Square, you probably won't get shot. But a place like Michigan, people are packing, just walking through Walmart. So you gotta have manners, you know? You gotta be a little more on edge. You could say something to somebody like, "Oh, sir, would you like some soda?" And they're just like, "It's not called soda, it's pop, pop, pop." I graduated from Michigan State. Again, no one gives a shit. There's a big rivalry between Michigan State and the University of Michigan. And I met someone out here in New York who went to the University of Michigan. He found out I went to State. He said to me, "Oh, you went to State? Fuck you." In New York City. I'm like, can we just appreciate we're both from the Mitten State? Like, my worst fear is that I get drafted to war, shot, then that guy finds me. I'm just on the ground like, oh, help, man, I've been shot. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, you went to state? Fuck you! Hail to the victors! And then he just teabags me and I die. Originally from a town called Clarkston, Michigan, where there were not many Jews at all. So I experienced like weird anti-Semitism growing up because like kids didn't even know enough Jews to know the proper way to be anti-Semitic. Like this one kid one time called me a kite. He's like, the kites killed Jesus. I'm like, yeah, it was a windy day. I experienced, I'm not even gay, but I experienced like a bunch of weird homophobia growing up too. Like I went to this house party in Romeo, Michigan. And if you've never heard of Romeo, Michigan, all you need to know is the hometown of Kid Rock. So it's not a place known for its culture. So I'm at this party, and when I drink, I just get theatrical. So people just assumed I was gay, and this like people started being like really weird. Like I noticed there's just like some weird stink in the air, and then a friend pulls me aside, Luke, and he goes, Brett, everybody at this party is like weirded out by you. They think you're gay. And I was like, dude, I don't care if they think I'm gay. I just hope they don't find out I'm a Jew. Actually, getting scared out here, being, in New York City. Things are getting tough, so I started taking classes in Krav Maga, the Israeli martial art. Yep. If you don't know what it is, it's the entire martial art dedicated to pulverizing a man's genitalia. All my instructors are Israeli special ops officers, and they're like, okay, first you punch him in the groin, you kick him in the groin, you bite him in the groin. Then you add some hummus. They say you've mastered Krav Maga when you can circumcise a baby with a karate chop. You said you were circumcised, sir? Yes, me too. Found it. Have you guys seen those people in Union Square who are like protesting circumcision? Yeah, there's these guys who are like gun-ho, like, circumcision needs to be stopped! Just like yelling with these signs. I'm like, couldn't you spend your time in like a more worthy cause? Like, I'm technically a victim of that, but I'm very proud of my kosher sausage. Like, if people were coming in the middle of the night and just circumcising grown men, sure. Protest that. If it was like a horror movie, you see Jason Voorhees dressed as a mohel. Gotta pick a better cause. I like being out here. I think I'm turning to my parents, though. Growing up, I think I'm turning to my parents. Caught myself doing something a few days ago that my mom used to always do. Do an impression for you guys. This is my mom getting interrupted when she's on the phone. She will shut up anybody with that. Like, Mom, there's a serial killer in the house. Sorry, sir, you're going to have to kill us later. She is on the phone. Got an interesting family. I recently accidentally saw my dad's penis. I mean, do I really need to justify accidentally? Like, oh no, I scheduled time for that. Yeah, my dad was interesting. He always had like catchphrases growing up. His big catchphrase was, life's not fair. Hated it. So I grew up, explained so much more, you know? Just like, well, how come like he gets hair and I don't know, I got this. I like it though. It's fun being bald. I got to pet a dolphin recently. It feels exactly like the top of my head. So if anybody wants to know what a dolphin feels like, you can just... Want to pet it, sir? Now you've pet a dolphin. So I saw my dad's dick. And I didn't mean to. We were in the locker room. His towel came off, and there's like, woo. And when you're like a kid and you accidentally see your dad's junk, you always think it's huge just because of optical magnification. But I saw it as an adult, and I realized that my dad has a monster dong. And I did not inherit that. So the junk just came out. It just like, almost hit the floor. And I'm just like pretending not to see it. And I'm just like, oh God, oh! I just like made that noise. Whoa, jeez! And in the middle of the locker room, there's like people standing around. We both are just like pretending nothing's happening for a little bit. And then finally, my dad just looks down and goes, "Son, life's not fair." I'm trying to relax lately. Just took a yoga class. Oh, some trouble relaxing in this yoga class, though, because the instructor was this old lady who kind of looked and sounded like Gilbert Gottfried. Just a little hard to feel zen when she's like, "All right, now everybody get into downward dog. Feel your body relaxing. And feel your chakras aligning." So I bought her meditation tape. I think more celebrities should have meditation tapes. You know, like it's gotta be something relaxing though, like Owen Wilson. She's like, I mean, wow, I feel so relaxed right now. I feel crazier than a road lizard. Like Adam Sandler, like, okay, well, you first got to relax your arms, and then you relax your legs, and then you'll get into downward doggy. Ah, shut up. I like Jack Black. This is the greatest and best meditation tape in the world. Flick-a-goo, flick-a-goo. Those are all the impressions I did. I do this at night. During the day, working radio. Tired of these FM morning shows. Every time you turn on the radio, it always sounds like some sort of like satanic sex party with robots. Every single FM morning show you turn on, it's like, welcome to Molly and Mike in the morning on Q105.1. Q105.1, we play everything. Now here's the weather. I had to wipe this mic down. I'm definitely getting coronavirus after this thing. It's just been... Everything that Nina said about not wanting to do to a penis, I have done to this mic. So Ben, give it a go for Ben, everybody. We're putting this together. Being such a good man. It's great. Let's meet some people here. What's your name, sir? Was it Dan? Dan. Dan, you ever masturbate while driving? You do? Just confident, yes. You know, I had a punchline, but your reaction was better than what I was gonna say. Where do you you must do this a lot by having a lot of people are like, yeah, maybe one time I'll admit. You're like, yes. Do you follow people and do it, or? Do you go on the highway, or do you do it like in like neighborhoods, or? It's got to be the highway. What about a dirt road?
If it's straight and long enough.
straight and long enough. Just like, wow, it's straight and long enough. Everything you say is with a little hook at the end. Do you ever get caught by those cameras that they have through the toll booth?
No, but I was always worried about truck drivers.
Truck drivers? They can see down. Then you just go like, ha, ha, ha. Wah. A lot of them are probably into that. They're bored. Anybody else masturbate while driving? Is he the only guy? They're lying? I agree. No one's fessing up. I think that's a man thing. I don't think women masturbate while driving, do they? Do they? No? It's way too hard. Yeah, I guess like...
We like comfort.
You what?
We like comfort.
You like comfort.
I can do it while driving.
Well, what if you're in a self-driving car? Like a Tesla.
I don't trust those.
This set just went off the rails. All right, I gotta, I think I'm like too, I don't know, I did it one time and I was like, really, my golf caddy was freaked out. All right, this is a bad pun. Some of you guys may not know this about me, but I'm actually an up-and-coming Jewish rapper. Yeah, they call me Dr. Dreidel. So I have a Jewish rap song I'm going to sing for you guys. I call this Kosher Sausage. Let's get a beat. From the East Coast to the Western Wall, I got chicks that's trying to suck on my matzo balls. You want that guy salami? That ain't rational. No, I got a full-set circumcised Hebrew national. What?
Kosher sausage, 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 kosher sausage.
Last year Hanukkah was at my pad. My buddy did some mama's lockets in front of me and my dad. Now he's trying to pay child support but is unable because he foreclosed his house in a game of dreidel.
Kosher sausage, 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 kosher sausage.
That's Brick Kline and the motherfucking Drew crew, cause once you go Jew, none else will do. Baruch atah, bitches. I was gonna drop the mic, but I'm not paying for this thing. I'm Brick Kline. Thank you guys very much. Keep it going for Ben Turk.
Nice, dude, nice. Thank you, Brett. All right. Is everybody entertained? Nice. Guys, we have a drop-in tonight, a special guest. Everyone get excited. This is unplanned. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity of a famous actor who's come here tonight to entertain us. Guys, give it up. Give a warm welcome for Edward Norton.
My God, Becky, look at her butt. It is so big. She looks like one of those rap guys' girlfriends. No.
I don't know if you don't believe that I'm him, or you don't think that Ben knows that motherfucker. Because no matter who I am, I look like the type of guy that Ben met in a bathroom doing coke. And that's probably a little more accurate. No, that is it. My name is Jim, by the way. It's nice to meet everybody. I'm Jim Wallis. That's all. That's it. That was my opening joke, too. I usually just come out and I'm like, the other guy did great impressions. This is my impression of Edward Norton. And then I just stand there for a few minutes. That's all I got. I'm glad you guys liked him. You at least knew who he was. His main audience, I don't know if you guys knew this, Edward Norton's main fan club is drunken firefighters. That's what I get. That's why I don't do these bar shows. I'm just swimming in firefighter dick. That's all it is. It's just dude you look like, right, Edward Norton? I'm like, yeah, you just told me, but all right, man. We'll run with that. It is a little unplanned. The only thing that I've done to prepare for this show was get my hair cut. So I hope that works out for you guys. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thank you. My aunt, ladies and gentlemen. My Aunt Deb is here. I appreciate it. If her name's Deb, I'll just fucking buy drinks for everybody. That would be the shit. Your name is Deb? Deb, that's what I said. Get the fuck out of here, Deb. Get the fuck out. This is comedy magic right now. This is fucking comedy. Deb, get your ass up here. What do you say? Come on. Come on, Deb. I know I didn't plan this shit. Let's do this, Deb. Let's do this right now. Deb, what's your name, Deb?
Deb.
Deb. Deb, I'm going to go out. Deb, what's your favorite brand of Chardonnay? Let's do this. You're lying to all these people, Deb. You got a fucking fridge full of it, Deb. All right, Deb. You're more of a vodka gal. Jeez, you're a rock star. All right, all right. What part of... We're going to bail on this pretty soon because I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just acting like I'm a dude in Primal Fear from a while ago. The only thing I have in common with the guy from Primal Fear are the actual issues. Like, that's the level of talent. All right, who do people say that you look like? I know. That's a look. You look kind of like Susan Sarandon a little bit, right? Nice, nice. I mean, I'm only staring at your boobs, so I don't know. That's weird. All right, we got to end on that because you are somebody's mom. Give it up for Deb. Give it up for Deb and me hoping her husband, girlfriend, someone isn't here to beat my ass after that one. I appreciate it. All right, let's get into some real stuff. Anybody else here rooting for the coronavirus? Just a little bit? Yeah, I'm planning a wedding, man. I'm thinking like, yeah, let's thin it out. Like, not like I don't want the coronavirus to win. You know, I want it to just like make the playoffs. And I give the coronavirus the wild card spot. I don't want my grandma to get it, but like travel restrictions would be lovely. That shit is expensive, right? And I've got a lot of susceptible people in my crowd. Like we lose a ring bearer or like a great aunt, like that's okay. It's okay on the dance party. It's grim shit, isn't it? What else is going on in current events? I'll tell you what. I'm confused by the Royals. You guys, you follow that at all? The Royals? I'm confused by it. No, man, they didn't. That ain't even the Chiefs, dude. Your sports reference ain't even good. And your socks don't match. Get the fuck out of here. Look, I'm kidding. Mine don't match either. Look at this. No, you wearing black socks and brown shoes, and I'm from the 90s. Get the fuck out of here. That shit didn't fly in 97. They're Navy. I'm gonna play my game. They're Navy. I wore these. I have asthma. Don't get me excited. I don't come out here to fuck with people. This isn't how this shit works. You and I were almost fought over a stool over there, and then you look upset like that Mac Miller died, so I'm just gonna let it go. I stole that joke from a buddy of mine. I hope no one's recording this. So the Royals, I don't know anything about them. I have a little brother with red hair who dates black girls, so do you? No? You? No? All right, I guess I'm the authority on this. I don't know why it wasn't such a big fucking deal. Like, nobody had to move to Canada over it, you know? We talked about it once at Christmas. Yeah, but you can't, I know. No, we could, it was fine. My mom had a couple Chardonnays, and she said, why do you do that? And my brother said, because I don't want to see anybody naked that looks like me. And that was it, and the holidays rolled on. Seek us out for advice, Royals. We got 2 Elvis ornaments on our tree. We know what we're talking about. That one kind of shifted off. That hit. My real Aunt Deb would lose her shit right there. Yeah, there'd be some incontinence issues. She would lose her fucking mind. It was true. I did get my hair cut earlier tonight, which until the Deb thing was my biggest accomplishment. I had a dream the other night that all my hair fell out, and I was fine with it. Do you have any idea how fucking mature that is? Like, I never expected to even be an adult in my dreams, and I did it. Unbelievable. Don't believe the hype. This is all Rogained up. That shit works. That's why it's under lock and key at the pharmacy. You didn't know that. Some of you guys knew that, but I'm just going to look up, not call you out on it. You have to ring a bell to, like, have the guy come over and help you to get you Rogaine. Like, who's stealing it? Like, let him go. He's sad. You know what I mean? Like, he's not some arch criminal. The only thing he has a problem with is letting go. Let him slide. I'm gonna go for gratuitous applause. I did just get engaged. So, yeah, that's cool. Clap while I think of my next joke. No, I'm kidding. We got engaged. I've learned a lot. We've lived together for a while. I learned a lot living with a woman. Did you know that almond butter costs $14? I didn't know that. I'll tell you something I know right now. Almond butter is peanut butter for assholes. We've dealt with a lot of issues, though. There's a lot of like stuff on our plate. Like my girl's, her IUD is about to expire. Yeah, it's something you tell strangers in bars. I've been doing it for a while, and she still agreed to stick with me. But we don't know what, like, we're difficult. It's a difficult scenario. Like, we don't know what to do. Like, she thinks we're going to go back to using condoms, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a boy. She's like, get the Trojans. I'm like, make a list of boys' names. Let's do that. Let's make that happen. I usually end my show like, Deb, thanks. Are you you got what's your scenario? You got kids, aunts, nephews, stuff like that?
No kids.
No kids? You got nephews, nieces? How many you got?
One nephew, 4 nieces.
How old's the nephew?
12.
12. Okay. So you're gonna have to take a lesson from my mom because you are about to officially become a masturbation referee. That's my mom's job. She raised 3 boys at all times. She was just waiting for like doors to slam and showers to start. She'd be like, it's not avoidable. You've been recruited. She'd be like, all right, I hear a shower running upstairs. Your brother's bedroom door is shut. You're going to stay here where I can see you for 5 minutes. That's too many men on the field. Put Rainbow Bear down. She's had enough. Or he. We don't know about you yet. All right, guys. Special thanks to Ben. This guy's put on an amazing show. I'm Jim Wallis. Thank you all very much.
All right, give it up for Jim, everybody. The real Jim Wallis is here. All right, guys, you guys ready? We have 2 more comics. Everyone pumped up. Here we go. So, coming on stage, this girl, she's my friend, she's your friend, she's everybody's friend. You've seen her or listened to her on Sirius XM Radio. Give it up for Michelle Slonim.
God, Becky.
Hey,
look at her
how's it
It is
going?
She looks
Yay! My parents have been together for over 50 years, and this week, for the first time since I can remember, I saw them holding hands. Yeah, and I said to my mom, it's so sweet to see you being affectionate. She looks at me and says, your father's dizzy. Like, if I ever see them hugging, I'm calling the ambulance because someone's having a heart attack. At their 50th anniversary, they fist bumped. In the winter, my dad sleeps with the windows open, and my mom blasts the heat. So they sleep in separate bedrooms. So after 50 years of love, the key is stay the hell away from each other. And in the winter, they go down to Florida. And the last time I went to visit them, my mom said, every time you come down, we have to share a bedroom. We'd love it if you would stop visiting. My father called my brother pussy whipped. And when my brother's wife heard this, she said to my brother, say you're not pussy whipped. Say it. To which my brother replied, as you wish, honey. Then my sister-in-law complains to me like I'm gonna take her side over my dad. Are you kidding? I'm trying to stay in the will. But she doesn't take a hint, so I change the subject to the Arab-Israel conflict. You know, lighten the mood. She claims I called her a Palestinian, because I said she lives in the West Bank. Wrong. I said she lives on the west side next to a bank. Big difference. And for the record, the bank was there first. I said this at a comedy show once. She was in the audience. She got so mad at me. She was like, the only way you can make this up to me is by spending more time with my kids. And in that moment, I had a realization. I was like, I am so sorry you think I called you a Palestinian, because you guilting me into babysitting my niece and nephew for free proves you're a Jew. In high school, Sarah Moore would never invite me to her house parties. So when she made out with the captain of the soccer team in the student lounge, I told the teacher on her. In the yearbook that year, I was voted most likely to be a cop. When I went to my reunion, I agreed to perform to show them how things have changed. The only thing that's more awkward than going to your high school reunion is performing at your high school reunion and bombing. After my set, Sarah Moore comes up to me. She's like, oh my God, Michelle, in high school, you were such a loser. You haven't changed a bit. Oh. So I told the teacher on her. Like, even the hot girl who was now fat was making fun of me. My classmates have all become like Fortune 500. I went to private school in Manhattan. And like they've all become Fortune 500 CEOs and law partners, not to brag, but I'm on Medicaid. I said this at a comedy show once. There was a group of Germans in the audience. They were like, yeah, so we are all on Medicaid. Like, even the alum of my, so this one alum was profiled in the New York Times. The New York Times, because he founded a hate group, which is wrong. Why is he in the New York Times and not me? I can't even get a mention in AM New York. It's like, who do you have to hail Hitler around here to get some press coverage? Anyway, I've started my own hate group. It's the audience for my high school reunion. In order to get into this school, it was this competitive, cutthroat process with rounds of interviews, letters of recommendations to get into preschool. It's like, what does the admissions committee ask a 4-year-old? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? 9. What's your greatest weakness? Shoelaces. How do you plan to repay your kindergarten student loans? By refinancing my lemonade stand. You know, that's the type of Michelle articulate thinking we're looking for here at Give Us All Your Parents Money Academy. Congratulations, you're on the wait list. I feel like I'm doing really well with one table. Obviously, they're like the Jews my age. I get it. You know, you're gonna fucking die too, okay, you young little shits? I have been traveling a lot, so it's nice to be back here in New York where people are nice. I was in California in Silicon Valley coming out of this 7-Eleven, and this white kid with dreads, like about 12 years old, asked me for money, and when I said no, he yelled, "Bitch!" So I ran away because I was like really, really scared. But then when I came to my senses, I was like, what am I afraid of? Okay? That punk was probably only gonna spend the money on Red Bull. Like, ooh, what is he saving up for a Tesla? Like, at least in New York, white kids with dreads skateboard and smoke weed like God intended. That was dedicated to you guys over here, that joke. I'll do one for every demographic, okay? Yeah. Hi. Ah, what do you think? You're not here? Come on. Are you Ben's parents? Yeah, okay. Like, they're like, why the fuck else would we be here right now? Poor guy. You guys like came in from like fucking the boondocks of New York. Wow. Someone is probably sleeping over at Ben's tonight if he lived in his own place. Okay. I have a very wide acting range. I can play a New York Jew, a New Jersey Jew, a Long Island Jew, an Upper East Side Jew, this is my poodle dreidel, an Upper West Side Jew, this is my son dreidel, a Bronx Jew, this is my wife dreidel, and her Latino son poodle. And this week, actually, also, I got an audition for Worried Jewish Mom. But the day of the audition, I called. I said, I can't come in. I'm having a panic attack. They said, you're hired. Oh, everyone's clapping but this fucking table? Okay, I'll get to your demographic, but you guys are diverse. Not really. Okay. Growing up, my dad spoke fake Yiddish. So he'd be like, hello. How are ya? And he would make up words like, oh, I'm getting into eshi peshi, which means bed. Or, luz in a bagel, leave me alone. So a while ago, I was at this bar. This guy was bothering me. I'm like, I'm going to mess with him a little bit. So I was like, I will not get into eshi peshi with you. Luz in a bagel. But this guy didn't care. He stood his ground, looked me dead in the eye, and goes, can I buy you a Heineken? It used to be that you would pay everything by cash, credit, or check. Right now, everything's electronic, PayPal, Venmo, dick pic. So I Venmo'd my friend Sarah Fearon $50, except I Venmo'd the wrong Sarah Fearon, and wrong Sarah didn't give it back. And when I messaged her through Venmo, she blocked me. So I searched for her email, no reply. I searched for her on eBay and messaged her from my 2 eBay accounts. I have a second eBay account so I could bid up my own sales. Blocked. So I did my internet research on this girl because you could find out everything about anyone if you have the time, and I do. I found out where she went to middle school, high school, her dog's Instagram handle. She defaulted on 1 credit card that I now own the collection for. So anyway, a couple months ago, I'm outside her house, waiting to kidnap her dog. And I have a thought. I'm like, oh my gosh, what if she's a crazy person? So I put down the horse tranquilizers, go home, take her to small claims court, and folks, when you Google Michelle Slonim, it says Venmo champion. Yes, thank you, my table, thank you. Okay, I got my $50 back. I got my $50 back. It was the best $150 I ever spent. I'm Michelle Slonim, thanks so much.
Woo, give it up for Michelle Slonim! Woo! Isn't she great? Love Michelle. All right, guys, we are up to our final comic. Is everyone pumped? Yeah. All right. I've known this guy for a very long time. He's the biggest pain in the ass I know, but I love him to pieces. Give it up for everybody's favorite professor, Anthony Drew!
I love this song so much. Yeah, thank you. For the Greeks, let's hear for the Greeks. Let's hear for the Jews. How many Jews we got in the house? Let's hear for the basic girls. Hey. All right, the gays. Where my gays at? All right. Oh, you too, Ferd. You do your Greek and gay. Nice. Did you guys give it up for Ben, your host? Did you guys see us hug? Every time I hug Ben, it's like our faces get further and further away. If we keep it up at this rate, we're gonna hug and then ricochet back onto the wall behind us, you know? So, don't even get me started. That's Ben's mom laughing. So it's actually Dr. Anthony Drew. Did you say that part? What the hell? He's my manager. Dr. Anthony Drew. I'm a professor. I have a PhD. It's not an MD, though, so thank you. If anybody has a medical emergency, do call 911, okay? I'm looking right at you guys, the oldest in the audience. Sorry, had to point that out. Got a clear path there. My mother reminds me all the time that I don't have an MD. When I finished school, she said, I'm not calling you doctor. Doctors have prescription pads. Doctors save lives. What do you have, a book? It's like, actually, yeah, I wrote a book, Ma. It's called a dissertation. When you have your finger up somebody's ass making sure everything's okay, that's when I'll call you doctor. So I said, Ma, then you should have been calling me doctor since I'm 22. That's right. I call that joke Dr. Finger. I love that joke. So, it is my opinion that the worst thing that human beings do is to grow up and become an adult. It sucks. You guys have time. I'm so happy for you for that. Sorry. So I think it's the worst thing. Adulting sucks, but we all got to do it, right? I've been adulting like a champ lately. The batteries in my remote control died. Not only did I have 2 batteries, rechargeable batteries, they were fully charged. Adulting. I made dinner plans with a friend 2 weeks in advance. I even made a freaking reservation, and I didn't cancel last minute. Adulting. I've been adulting so hard that I signed up for Verizon auto pay, so I get $5 a month off my bill. That's $60 a year. And do you know what I'm gonna do with that $60? Buy weed, like an adult. Okay? That's it. That's adulting. So I want to talk a little bit about my midlife crisis. I've been looking at the room. It's like some of us are in the midlife crisis. Some of us are well past it. Some of us are like, what? So I'm just going to keep picking on you, but you guys are so delicious. Get off your phone. So pay attention when I'm teaching, okay? So, wait, where was I? Oh, my midlife crisis. So I got an early start at 35 because I'm a realist. There was no way I'm making it past 70. So I've been midlife crising for some time now, and it's come to an end, and I'm happy. So I'm going to walk you through a little bit of it. Anybody here ever go away for a birthday? Not you. I know you're not you. All right, well, I guess not. So I went to Greece for my 40th birthday, like a grown-up. And I saw some of the most beautiful ancient ruins. I laid on some of the most gorgeous beaches in the world. I covered a man named Stavros in olive oil repeatedly. It was fantastic. Mind-blowing. We blew a couple other things too, I assure you. So, but that wasn't enough. So when I got back from that, I decided to continue my midlife crisis. I went to Burning Man. Have you guys heard of Burning Man? It's a city they built in the northern Nevada desert, but once a year, so that adults can ride around naked on bicycles and do all the drugs, okay? And it's for such a drug-forward event, everybody's really paranoid. They're like, you gotta watch out for the Rangers. The Rangers are gonna arrest you. You're gonna get busted by the Rangers. I was there a week. I didn't see any Rangers. But it also makes it difficult because it's hard to smoke pot when you're there because you could smell it and everybody's paranoid. So one night I come across these guys, they're smoking a J, and I'm like, hey guys, can I join you? They're like, you a Ranger? I'm like, no, dude, I'm just a professor. Calm yourself. So we're smoking the J, they roll a J, passing it around. I'm like, all right, Rangers, we got 4 stoners here. Come on in and get them. Those guys ran like the wind and left me with that joint. And I smoked that joint like a homeless person smokes a cigarette. Put it out, stick it in my boot, save it for later. Okay? So, anyway, there's a lot of naked people at Burning Man. I stayed in a nudist colony, which was a real treat at breakfast. One morning, I'm eating my Cheerios, noticing the diversity of penises. They really do come in all shapes and sizes. Diversity at its finest, you know? And of course, as we all know, like the most beautiful penis is on the ugliest person, whatever. Just take a hit of your J, get to town, whatevs. Don't ask, don't tell. So where was I with that? Oh, so one morning I'm eating breakfast and I see this most peculiar looking penis. And I realized it was a woman's breast hanging between her legs. And I won't be staying at the nudist colony anymore. I think they do eventually get down there. I don't know. I don't have that equipage. So anyway, Burning Man was still not enough. So I did the one thing that I really didn't want to do. I started sleeping with younger guys to address my midlife crisis. And it's a little cliche, but it's also a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Let me tell you, dating younger in a modern era has its challenges and has its advantages. One of my younger guys was like, I'm gonna DM you later. I'm like, ooh, I've never DM'd before. I've 69'd. I've done it doggy style. How many pearl necklaces have I given and received in my life, but never DM'd? So I was really excited. It turns out it's not that kinky. It stands for the messenger on Instagram. And he messaged me, yeah. And then he said, oh, it's what, direct messenger? Direct, okay. That makes much more sense. Yeah, that makes much more sense. Oh, I thought they were clever. Oh. So anyway, it stands for direct messenger. Well, his messages were very direct. So yeah, he said DTF. I was like, do the fun? Oh yeah, I'll do all the fun. And I never heard back. So I'm learning. It's a learning curve. Yeah, do the fun. Well, I think DTF stands for something else. I misinterpreted. Oh, you said a bad word. No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm always down for that. Now I know. I'll message back. So I am dating someone younger, a little younger. By a little, I mean a lot. A millennial in his late 20s. You know who's benefiting from me dating a millennial? My chiropractor. I have to go twice a week just to keep up, but it's worth it, let me tell you. My chiropractor suggested that I stretch before sex. How embarrassing. You're making out with some guy and then you have to excuse yourself to go in the other room and get into downward dog just so you don't pull your back out doing it doggy style. It's ridiculous. You should try it. You should too. You should consult with your doctor, sir. So my millennial and I, we really impressed each other the other day. He was in a dilemma. He wanted to go for avocado toast and a matcha latte, but he also wanted to go for Soul Cycle, and he didn't have time to do both. And even though I didn't understand any of the words coming out of his mouth, I was really impressed that he was planning ahead. That's not a millennial thing to do. So I said, would you like me to make you an avocado toast? And he said, you know how to make avocado toast? I said, yes, little millennial, come to my kitchen. Let me show you how to slice an avocado, toast bread, and slap the two together. I'll even throw in a little Himalayan sea salt if it makes your fancy, you know? Well, he stared at me like a little kid who saw that finger trick for the first time. You know what I'm saying? Slice an avocado. I'm not really taking my finger off. You guys got to calm down, all right? So anyway, I really impressed him. So before he left for Spin Cycle, I said, I got your nose, and I shut the door. And I wonder if he spent the whole time on Spin Cycle thinking, did he really get my nose? The benefits of dating younger. So I am afraid to say sleeping with younger guys has not satiated my midlife crisis. And so the capstone project to my midlife crisis is stand-up comedy. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. White men are really having a moment in comedy, you know? We're really shining. So at least I have the gay thing. It makes me a little different, but I am one accidental hand job from a Japanese massage lady away from getting kicked off the LGBT totem pole. So I got to be careful. I need that G to stay comic afloat. You know what I'm saying? Stay afloat in comedy. I am. You guys are so much fun, by the way. So thank you for that. And you're welcome. I see that you're not even responding. So good. All right, there you go. I know it's too late. It's too late. You had a chance. You ruined it. So, anyway, I am an LGBT plus comic. I'm not all the letters, though. I'm just G. I have a lot of friends that are B and T, and my spirit animal is L. That's right, guys. Get me on a second date. I'll show up in a U-Haul. Yeah. The problem is getting me on a second date. I always like to say the Home Depot joke, and people are like, that's really offensive. I'm like, have you ever been to a Home Depot on a Saturday? Do you know how many times on a Saturday at Home Depot I say, excuse me, sir, ma'am? Like, sir, ma'am. You're like, oh, shit, there's a lot of lesbians here. Fuck. Anyway. It just seems to me that the LGBT plus totem pole is just about how you use your holes and what private parts you're stuffing into them. And I don't care. Nobody cares. Do what you want. They're your holes, whatever. But it also seems to me that every time we come up with a new thing to do with our holes and private parts, we're adding a new letter to the totem pole. So I'm just a little worried. What's going to happen first? Are we going to run out of holes or are we going to run out of letters? You know what I'm saying? So either way, we'll have to come up with some hieroglyphic coding system. I think it's called emojis, actually. So what else? Oh, I do have a hard time, though, telling who's gay and who's straight, because I'm not judgy like you people. I was at a party the other day, and this guy and I really hit it off, but I couldn't tell what his deal was. And so he said, we should hang out sometime. I was like, do you mean like everybody here at the party or me and you? He's like, me and you. I'm like, yes. Wait. Do you mean in a broski way or in a gay-ski way? He's like, in the gay way. I'm like, yes. Wait. Do you mean in the hey girl, let's go to brunch kind of way or the butt sex kind of way? So we ended up having brunch last week. Yeah. And then butt sex. Woo! Thank you. Oh, if you haven't tried it, you should. You can't get coronavirus that way, but you can get gonorrhea that way. And it's okay. 10 days on antibiotics, and you're brand new. Your skin's glowing. You're taking great poops. It's awesome. So anyway, but listen, guys, don't try the butt sex after brunch. That's not for amateurs, okay? Let's take it from me. I've been around the block a lot. So, do you guys use Uber? I love Uber. I never use Uber. But now that everybody else is using Uber, I could actually get a yellow cab. Just like in the movies. Taxi, boom. I can't even whistle in the taxi stops. These guys are dying to get a fare. Thank you. So keep using Uber, all right? I have been trying to lose weight. It is really hard to lose weight. I heard you could lose a lot of weight if you get a tapeworm. No. Do you know how hard it is to get a tapeworm? I have tried everything. I licked a homeless person. That doesn't give you a tapeworm. That gives you tuberculosis. You don't lose weight from tuberculosis. I tried to get a tapeworm on the dark web. I don't know how to get on the dark web. I Googled dark web. It didn't get me a tapeworm. It got me on the FBI watch list. I just got off that fucking list, too. I'm sorry. I keep spitting on you. It's okay. So I'm trying this meal replacement plan where for dinner, I eat 2 sleeping pills. 12 hours of sleeping, 12 hours of not eating. And it turns out when you take that many sleeping pills, there's a side effect of sleepwalking. So it's a twofer. I'm not eating and I'm getting cardio. I will be in a Speedo in no time. I'm just kidding. I'm in a Speedo already because it's laundry day today. Do you guys use Netflix? I love Netflix. I never use Netflix. But now that everybody else is using Netflix, I get a whole row to myself at the movie theater. Chomping on my popcorn, smoking my vape. I'm just kidding. I don't eat popcorn. So I had a conversation the other day with a therapist about multiple personality disorder. It's really interesting stuff. I learned so many cool things, and I think in this era of mental health, we should really be talking about this stuff. And I would love to tell you all the things I learned, but I need to wait to hear from my other personality before I share it with you. That joke's for the old people, and you guys didn't even. I'm sorry. All right. Are you guys all, is your other personality hearing the joke on that one, maybe? Maybe, all right. So in real life, I'm a professor of speech therapy, so I'm a speech therapist. And I work with a lot of businessmen, foreign businessmen, on improving their pronunciation of English. So if you're ever at a meeting and you meet a French businessman that says, mais oui, well, no, he's not smoking weed, he's smoking a cigarette, sorry. Mais oui, I totes agree with that statement. That is my work. Notice the perfect pronunciation. Or if you're ever greeted by a Japanese businessman who says, hey, that is also my work. I call that cross-cultural linguistics. Thank you. I'm in the market for new ear pods, but I don't want those white ones, so I've been looking around and paying attention. And I saw these really cool ear pods the other day, and I asked the guy, where'd you get them? He's like, what? I'm like, your ear pods, where'd you get them? He's like, I'm deaf, you motherfucker. Those are my hearing aids. I'm like, oh, shit. Sorry. Are they Android compatible? Do you guys use Grubhub? I love Grubhub. I never use Grubhub. But now that everybody else is using Grubhub, I don't need a reservation in the restaurant. So keep using Grubhub. Do you ever notice how people get really offended when you misgender their dogs? It's true. I was in an elevator the other day and this woman and her dog came in and I was like, who's the big boy? Who's the big boy? And she said, she's a girl. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. Who's a little heavy? Who needs to go on a diet? Oh. That points out the inequality in men and women. So you guys know. I don't need to make the inference for you. So I have to take the bus. I work in New Jersey, and I take the bus into the Port Authority. Have you been there? It's like a mall for buses. They have a Sparrow. They got buses. Get the fuck out as quickly as you got in there, you know? But the other day, I had a particularly bad day, and there was a choir singing in the middle of the Port Authority, because let's face it, a gig is a gig, right? And they were singing the best song ever written, We Are the World. And everybody in the Port Authority was stopped and singing, We Are the World. I had my arm around a homeless woman, We are the children. It was just such a beautiful moment. It was like the universe saying, Anthony, get over it. Everything's gonna be okay. It ain't all that bad. And when the song was done, my homeless friend was like, you got $5? I'm like, you ruined it, lady. You ruined it. We had a moment up here and you ruined it. We are not the world anymore. We are not. And they call that joke, We Are the Port Authority. Before I go, I have one more question for you guys. Do you guys use condoms? I love condoms. I never. Thank you all so much. My name is Dr. Anthony Drew. I hope you had a lovely evening. Thank you. You guys have been awesome.